takes one night for you to freak with me. I make you famous, can't you see? Drop top BMs on the banjo. I make you famous, can't you see? It only takes one night for you to freak with me. I make you famous, can't you see?
All right, back off the radar with my man Quran Goodman. This time, part two, focusing on his production career. The first part, we talked more about his career with the Youngstas. But before we get into the aspect of production, Quran, help me understand what it is like growing up in the hip hop business.
Well, me growing up in the hip hop business, I was exposed to way more than the average kid at my age was exposed to. I was exposed to stuff that a grown man would probably never even be exposed to in his entire life at the age of 12, 13 years old. So I psychologically, I grew up fast
Okay.
because, I was around things that was way beyond my age at the time. And you see all kind of stuff growing up as a kid in hip hop.
Okay.
I'm a kid in nightclubs where you got to be 21 to get in. I'm 13, 12 years old in these clubs, seeing women shake their butts with, G strings on, stripping, and fights breaking out and shootouts breaking out inside of the clubs, people getting cut, all kinds of stuff. I'm around all this type stuff, at a little age. So
Okay.
no, I was just saying, like, growing up as a kid in hip hop, you're exposed to a whole lot of things that a kid would never ever be exposed to, and
Gotcha.
it just comes with the industry. Like it's a real wild industry, man.
Okay. I
It's a
bet.
real wild industry.
Couldn't imagine. Now, obviously, you've had a great career, but do you think being a child star that took away from your childhood? Would you do something different, or you love how everything turned out?
Yeah, it definitely took away from my childhood because I didn't have the chance to have a normal childhood. At the age of 12, I was on TV. I'm, doing shows, traveling, you know, doing all kinds of other things that I was, just spoke about just now previously. I didn't have the opportunity of just being a normal kid in school and just having a normal high school life or just a normal, like everywhere I would go, people knew who I was. Like, and then you're dealing with jealous people
Gotcha.
because you're on television and you dealing with the worst of the worst of jealousy because you're dealing with kids.
Right.
So who's more immature than a kid?
Right. Right.
So it's not like you're dealing with adults our age that may be, a little jealous towards you or whatever, but they're not going to do certain things out of their maturity. Like I'm a kid, so I'm going through all kinds of hating stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I couldn't even
I kind
imagine.
of, yeah, man. So I kind of had to, I was, I would kind, I don't want to use the word shelter myself, but I had to replace myself out of certain environments,
Okay.
out of just being smart. Because if I would have placed myself in certain environments and around certain people, types of people, I could have winded up like one of them child kids stars that you heard about that went to jail for murder or
Hmm.
that winded up getting murdered themselves or like you got to be real smart when you
Definitely.
a kid growing up in the hip hop industry, especially in Philly.
I bet. So, do you think the media is unfair to child stars as you mature? Sometimes they'll fall in love with the 12 or 13-year-old. Then, as you get older, are they unfair the way they treat you, or wasn't that a big deal for you necessarily?
I wouldn't say the media is unfair. I would say the world is unfair.
Oh, great answer. Great answer. Thank
Everybody
you.
everybody's unfair because I mean, the majority of people are fascinated in glamour and glitz. That's why they watch certain television shows or listen to certain artists because it's a temporary fascination high that they're getting. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's taking them out of reality temporarily for the time that they're watching whatever show they're watching or listening to whatever song they're listening to. So when when people look at you on that level, they treat you differently. And the hip hop urban environment is caught up in the latest. Everything is the latest.
Sure.
People chasing the latest phone. What's the newest iPhone? They got to get the latest phone, or they got to get the latest car, or
Right.
the latest sneakers, or the latest everything. Everything is the latest. You know what I'm saying? So when you're not popping at the present moment, they look at you like you never did nothing in your life.
Yeah.
Like they you know, totally disregard everything you accomplished in your life and treat you like you're worthless. And then you got the people that was jealous of you when you was, popping, doing whatever it is you was doing. And, when that comes to an end, now they really kicking you while you down because they wanted to see you down the whole time anyway. So
I like that
I
answer.
wouldn't say it's specific. I wouldn't say it's specifically the media. I would say it's the world. The media is nothing but people in the world with media jobs.
Yeah.
It's not like they're aliens that's writing these articles. The average person that would, what I'm saying? The average human being that would be in this category that I just spoke about. They just got media jobs.
Sure.
Like, I would just say the majority of the world is caught up in the latest everything. I would blame the companies that create all of these things. It's a psychological trick of the mind for them to be able to consistently sell to the consumer. They gotta psychologically psych out the majority of the people for them to feel like they're worthless if they don't have the latest for
Hmm.
them to be able to consistently sell their products.
Right.
Just imagine if you Gucci and you put out a new pair of shoes but you didn't put out a new pair of shoes every 10, 15 years, you wouldn't make no money.
For sure.
So they gotta psychologically brainwash the general public to feel like they need to have the latest in order to be, you know, keeping up with the Joneses is what they would say. In
Gotcha.
order to be popping or fly or, hip or look cool.
Gotcha. So after I'll Make You Famous, the album by the Youngstas, it seemed like you did a really good job transitioning into your production career. Now, just for people that don't know, what exactly does a producer do?
A producer is the person who makes the music. You got two sides to a song. A song, let's just put it as a pie. And the entire pie, the circle, the pie is 100%. Half of that pie, 50% goes to the producer, and the other 50% goes to the artist, which is the writer of the lyrics. So that's what makes a composition. That's what makes a song is the music and the lyrics combined. So the producer is the person who creates the music.
Okay, very good. Okay, so after the Youngsters, I know you did some production on some of the Youngsters tracks, like Grim Reaper, but what was your first producing job after I'll Make You Famous?
After I Make You Famous, I produced for a group named Ram Squad. A guy named Tommy Hill and Boy Backs, two guys from Richard Allen, North Philly. They were a popping group in Philly. They got a record deal with Universal at that time, and I wound up doing a couple of tracks for them.
Okay.
They They made sure I got paid for the tracks. I got my little, whatever price I charged at the time. And that was like the first project that I produced that I actually got paid for. Actually, I
Okay.
never got paid for anything from the Youngsters projects.
Okay. So you
I didn't
eventually,
even know about getting paid as a producer. Like, I didn't even know about, you know.
okay. So you're kind of learning on the job at the time, at least.
Yeah, I learned as I went along. I was real green to everything because I wasn't handling my business. So, my dad was handling all of our business.
Okay.
I was just, I was just being the artist
Okay.
and just leaving everything else up to my dad. I
Gotcha.
didn't even worry about the business side or none of that. Plus, we couldn't touch our money anyway until we turned 18 because we were juveniles. So we had a legal guardian that held on to our money, and I guess you would call it an escrow account or whatever bank account type. She held on to the money until we turned 18. So the whole youngster's career, I never even thought about getting money like that.
Okay. So you eventually got signed with the trackmasters. How did that all come about?
Well, I was in Miami and I linked up with a, good friend of mine's guy named Charlie Mack. Big shout out to Charlie Mack, man. Real good-hearted dude, man. Real thorough. He's a Philly legend. Like he's responsible for putting all kinds of huge superstars on. You know, introducing them to people, getting them signed and stuff like that. So I seen him coincidentally when I was in Miami for a music convention. I forgot the name of the music convention at the time, and that's when he told me that Nas and the firm was recording at Gloria Estefan's studio that was down in Miami, and he asked me if I wanted to go through there with him later on that night. So I said, hell yeah. So later that night, he wound up taking me through the studio, and I met up with Nas, Steve Stout, and Trackmasters was there, and Dr. Dre was there.
Okay.
Now, I didn't even know Trackmasters was going to be there. When I heard the firm, I was just thinking about, Nas, Foxy Brown, AZ, and Dr. Dre.
Okay.
So when I got there, I had my music with me, so Nas told me to put my music on so he could hear it. I played my music, and that's when Dr. Dre gave me his phone number. Like, yo, get at me, man. Them beats is crazy. So
Wow.
I wound up getting Dr. Dre contact, and then Tone and Pope told me to get with them also, and they gave me their phone numbers also. Originally, I was reaching out to Dr. Dre, but he never responded.
Okay.
So I wound up reaching out to Tone and Pope, and that's when I wound up getting them on the phone, and that led up to me getting signed to them.
Okay. Quite a compliment if Dr. Dre's even saying how hot your beats are.
Yeah, man, it's an honor, man. An
Absolutely.
honor for people on that level to even acknowledge my music.
Okay. So one artist I don't hear too much about that you'd worked with was Amerie. How was working with her and how did that all come about?
I never actually, well, you know what? I was in the studio with Amerie. Um, working with Amerie was cool, man. She's a real good-hearted person, real down to earth. Just a good person. She's big on energy. She's one of those types of people that's into karma and energy and all that type stuff. She comes from an Asian background, so a lot of Asians are Buddhists, and they believe in karma and the whole cycle and energy thing,
Okay.
reincarnation and stuff like that. So she's like real big on energy. So she's just good energy. Like she tries her best to be a good person to give out good energy. And she's a good person, real down to earth, cool. Um, she messes with a friend of mine's that that's how I met her actually, through a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine's.
Messing with like dating or just friends or just so I understand?
Both.
Oh,
They
cool.
well, they wound up recently. Yeah, they recently probably about a year ago, something like 2 years. They
Okay.
got married. They got a son together now. But my friend was an A&R at Sony at the time. He was like one of the top A&Rs in the urban division. Like he had Nas's project, and he wound up getting a Marie's project as an A&R. And you know, they wound up falling in love with each other. He
Nice.
wound up, dating her or whatever. And that being my homeboy because he was down with trackmasters when I, originally got down with him, signed with him or whatever. He was down with trackmasters. He was like a close friend of Tone's, and he was like an A&R for trackmasters, but he was like a real good dude. Like
Okay.
he was actually the dude that took me under his wing when I, first got down with like track masters and all of that. He was
Okay.
like the dude that was showing me the most love, took me under his wing, was basically making sure I ain't get done dirty like that because he know how the industry is.
Of course. Yeah.
So
Excellent.
man, him wound up getting real tight. Plus our birthdays is on the same day.
Oh, there you
So
go. Got something in common then. Good.
yeah, so me and him wound up, getting real cool or whatever. And that's how I started working with Amerie through him.
Okay. Yeah, you bring up good points. I always thought she had a great stage presence, very positive, just a good person for the music industry. And someone I don't seem to hear a whole lot about, at least recently. I know she has videos on YouTube and whatnot, but nevertheless, so now you were complimented by one of the best producers of all time in Dr. Dre. Now, have you ever had people fight for one of your beats? Say you have a hot beat, you have a couple artists, like, no, I want that, and kind of going back and forth?
Yeah, I had one situation that I know of that I was well, you know what? I got two situations actually. One of the most famous incidents was one day I was in the studio with Tone and Pope and my homie Lenny was there and Steve Stout was there, another guy named Mark Jordan that, was big in the Sony building. He was like the top of the urban division at the time. He wound up actually discovering Rihanna and getting her signed to Jay-Z at Def Jam.
Okay.
But when he left Sony, but yeah, that night Mark Jordan was in there, Tony Pope, Steve Stout, um, and Stevie J from the Puff Daddy producer crew, the Hitmen, that's on Love and Hip Hop now.
Yep.
Stevie J wound up coming through there that night, and Styles P and Jadakiss and Nori was in
Okay.
there from Drink Champs. If people don't know who Nori is,
Yeah. Conan
so
Noriega.
I played the beat. I played the beat when we was all in the studio that night, and Nori and Jadakiss and Styles P went crazy over this beat. They all was basically telling me they wanted that beat. Like, yo, don't get this beat to nobody. We're definitely gonna get it from you. Take our phone numbers. We're gonna call you tomorrow. Da 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 da. Nori wound up literally jumping on the phone calling his people at his record company. And then he pulled me in a mic booth like, yo, listen, don't get that beat to them. That's my beat. I got my man on the phone right now. Tell him how much you want. He gonna cut the check for you tomorrow type shit or whatever. So it wasn't like they was beefing or nothing. It was just, like friendly, friendly competition type thing.
Sure.
But I didn't want to look disloyal because Tone was right there and Steve Stout. And Tone and them, now that I'm older and I look back at it, they always was jealous of me.
Okay.
They was insecure. They had whatever insecurity problems in themselves, and I guess me being a young dude, as young as I was at the time, and my style of production was a broader range than theirs. They felt intimidated. So I ain't want to look disloyal and be on some, yo, all right, yeah, take my number. Yeah, I'm gonna get at you tomorrow. Call my lawyer, da 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 da, and I'm signed to them, and they sitting right there. So I'm like, yo, just hit up Tone, like just
Okay.
call Tone, man. Tone, Tone, whatever y'all trying to do, hit Tone up.
Okay.
And till this day, I don't know if they hit Tone up because every time I asked Tone if they hit him up after that, he would say no.
Oh wow.
So till this day, I think he's lying.
Okay.
So that's one time. Another time, a song I did on the Keith Murray album titled "Oh My Goodness." I had gave that. See, when you shopping beats as a producer, you'll have a certain amount of beats on your CD that you might go around playing for people or sending out to people. That's your hottest beats that you feel as though is your hottest beats at the present moment.
Okay.
So I had a certain, you know, group of beats that I was, shopping around at the time, and one of the beats that I was shopping around wound up getting picked by another local artist from New York City. I forgot his name till this day, but
Okay.
I think he had a record deal. He had a record deal with like Motown or something like that. And then I had, Keith Murray that wound up picking the beat as well, the same beat. Now, this is at the time when people started looping your beat in Pro Tools and recording
Okay.
without you ever dumping the track and even knowing they recorded to your beat. So Keith Murray had already did a whole song to the track. You know what I'm saying? And this other guy did a whole song to the track.
Oh.
So the other guy will, his business people, reached out to me on some, yo, we picked this such and such beat. We're gonna use this for our album. It's gonna be our single. Da da da. I'm gonna cut you the check soon as some. I don't remember. It was so long ago, but make a long story short, they didn't get around to cutting the check. Keith Murray and them wound up moving on the beat,
Okay.
faster and cutting the check. And then that guy got mad, but it wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't nothing
Right.
serious. It was just a little argument on the phone. That's it.
Okay. Now the beat with
That's the two situations right there.
true situation. Okay. Now the beat you're referring to with Nori, Styles P, and Jada Kiss. What happened to that, or what song is that with?
It never got used, man.
Oh man, are you kidding me?
That beat never got used, man.
Is there a way where
Yeah,
fans could
man.
hear
Until
that?
this, oh man, until no way, man.
No.
Until this day, I'm crushed because I want to, I just want to listen to the beat. But all of my old debts that all of my music was on is gone. Like
Oh wow.
I don't know what happened to me. Like, all of my CDs and stuff is gone. Everything is gone. I don't know what happened to it. So
Wow. That's too bad. All right. So you had you worked with
yeah,
Method
man.
Man in a couple of songs, and you're in a video with 50 Cent, Makeups to Breakups. How was the whole Method Man thing?
The breakups to makeups video, Tone actually called. That's one of the things they did call me about. But I guess he had to because I specifically was, they specifically wanted me to come through the video shoot.
Okay.
So Tone wound up calling me one day. He said he was supposed to go through the video shoot, but he couldn't because he was in the Aspens with Will Smith at the time. So he was like, "Yo, drive up to New York City and link up with Lenny." That's my good friend I was just talking about that's married to Amerie now that used to work for Trackmasters. He said, drive up New York, link with Lenny, and then he'll take you to the video set in Queens where they shooting the video at supposedly, where they going to shoot the video. So I drove up there Linked up with Lynn. He jumped in the car with him. I parked my car, jumped in with him, and we drove to Queens where the video was being shot. Coincidentally, the video was being shot in 50 Cent's neighborhood where he was from, grew up
Okay.
and raised. You know, it was everybody was outside at the time. Everybody was outside at the time because you know how it is. If somebody is shooting a video, close the door, baby boy. You know how it is at the time. If somebody's shooting a major video and it's a major superstar in your
Sure.
neighborhood recording a video, everybody's gonna be outside.
Of
So the
course.
whole neighborhood was outside, and 50 was out there, and 50 was signed to Trackmasters. So he looked at it as, well, shit. Quran is right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm down with Trackmasters. He made the song. I'm gonna try to get in the video with him. Like he's real aggressive the
Okay.
way he goes about everything. So he kind of just like mushed his way in the video, I would say. Not
Okay.
mushed as far as like disrespecting me. It's
No.
nothing like that. More so like, just real aggressive. Like he never left my side that whole video shoot. Like he even slept in the car with me the whole night because it was a 3-day video shoot. It was literally like a mini movie.
Yeah.
So they had the big trailers out there, and the artist was in the trailers. Method Man and D'Angelo had their own trailers.
Okay.
So the rest of the crew, sort of, just be wandering around, still working all throughout the night, taking a little naps in their car or wherever they could take a nap at. And my dad drove up there the second day, and we was in my dad's car, and 50 was in the car. Like he got in the car, slept in the back seat of the car all night. And that's when, it was time to do my last scene with me fighting in the video. And that's when, I did that scene. He was right there. Hype Williams is from Queens too.
Right.
So,
Okay.
that's how that whole 50 Cent situation came about with him being in that video.
Okay. Because the internet wasn't really big at the time. Again, I hadn't heard much from the youngsters. I remember hanging out with a couple friends. The video comes on, and we're like, we see you with the girl or getting into the fight. We're like, yo, that's cue ball. But we couldn't Google it real quick and confirm that. We're like, I swear that's Quran. And it was, of course. But so, yeah. Now, do you have a relationship with 50 Cent to this day?
No, and it's strange because like we was cool. Like we was both down with track masters together. We both was the new artist and producer on the team. Like they signed both of us literally at the same time, like within the same month, literally. Like they had a studio session in a studio way upstate New York in Bearsville. I don't know if you're familiar with Woodstock,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
big festival we have
Absolutely.
every year up there.
Yeah.
But that's where Woodstock is at, all the way up there. That's
Okay.
where we was recording it, in the woods, literally,
Oh, wow.
and like log cabins. Like the cabins didn't even have locks on the doors. Like it was no electricity outside. Like it was like a Jason movie, literally. Like I was in the house all night, scared to death, that somebody could have just literally just walked in the house and killed me, and nobody would have never known. But
Wow.
yeah, I winded up going all the way upstate to Bearsville with Trackmasters, and 50 came up there too. So that's when 50 did like 20 something songs in like a week,
Okay.
something crazy like that. And we both was up there together. That's where I first met him at. Like we was both sleeping in the same cabin. You know what I'm saying? We both linked, we both met on some, yeah, damn, what's good? We was both the new guys on the team. Everybody else already was on the team and knew each other. So me and him kind of had like, a little specific bond while we was up there. like kind of like sticking together while we was up there because we didn't know nobody up there. We both was the new dudes.
Sure.
So and then after that, I would see him all the time. Like I said, he real aggressive the way he goes about everything. Like he doesn't wait for nothing to come to him. He goes out to get whatever it is he
Okay.
wants.
Takes no for an answer.
He's like a super. Yeah, he's like real persistent. Like they're
Okay.
saying, persistence overcomes resistance.
Right.
Like his face should be on that saying, literally. It should be a picture of him.
Sure.
But yeah, man, like he will all like every session that trackmasters would have, he would be there every
Okay.
day. Like he was
Yeah.
super duper persistent.
Okay.
And I was seeing him all the time in the studio. Every time I'd be in the studio, he'd be there. Every situation. Every time I would go to the Sony building with Tony Poke, he'll be in there. Like he was literally like everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's how I know him. And
Sure.
then he wound up getting shot up, and I never talked to him ever again after that.
Interesting. Okay. So it's not like you had an
So
issue necessarily. If you guys saw each other in passing, I'm sure you probably would talk. Just he moved on, I guess. Is that safe to say?
yeah, like I never had me personally. I never had an issue with him.
Sure.
And I don't know if he had an issue with me for whatever reason, but if he did have an issue with me, it couldn't have been nothing serious because nothing never happened between
Right.
us.
For sure.
So if it was an issue, it must be something personal that he feels inside of, internally, personally with him.
Gotcha.
But I ain't never have an issue with him. I thought we was cool.
I see.
And, he just turned around, started fronting on me. I got a crazy story for you nobody never heard, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you this exclusive, right?
Please. We like exclusives.
All right, boom. He got shot up. I never talked to him again after that. Actually, I was like one of the first people at the hospital when he got shot at
Okay.
Jamaica Hospital in Queens. The day that I was with him the night before he got shot. Like I was literally sitting right next to him when his pager kept going off back to back to back. And I'm like, damn, who the hell keep paging? Like, and the whole time it was the dudes that he was supposed to meet up with at the studio with Murder Inc.
Okay.
Like they had a meeting set up for all of them to meet up and squash whatever issues they had. But he never went for whatever reason, and they was paging him to see where he was at, and he never went, and it was dumb. And I was like right there while this paging was going on, and the next morning he got shot up. So
Wow.
the next we had something set up that we had to do the next morning with another artist that was signed to Trackmasters named Ali Vegas. Shout out to Ali Vegas. He from 50 neighborhood, South Side, Jamaica, Queens.
Okay.
Real good dude, man. Super duper talented. Like super. But Ali Vegas and 50 had something set up that next morning. I think it was like a little promo video they was shooting or something like that. I don't really remember exactly what it was. It was so long ago, but we was all supposed to meet back up at the studio that next morning. So when I came to the studio, Ali Vegas was there. Everybody else that was with us. Lenny was there. Another dude was there named Dio. Big shout out to Dio. That was Ali Vegas manager at the time. Dude named Dio. Good peoples. We all was there, and we was waiting for 50. And like I said, he always was super duper persistent. And he wasn't there, so it was strange. Like, damn, where the hell is 50 at? Like, normally he would be the first here.
Right.
And we sitting around waiting for him. And at the time, this when you had two-way pagers. So we like hitting him up on his pager, no response. Like it was strange because he never, like I said, he was always super persistent.
Yeah.
He'll be the first there,
Hmm.
and he wasn't there. So it's like a real strange, eerie vibe. Like, damn, where the hell, what's up with 50? Like, we
Right.
knew something had to happen. And that's when my man Lenny just bust out of nowhere, like, oh shit, 50 got shot in the face.
Wow.
I'm like, oh shit. When I hear somebody getting shot in the face, I'm thinking they about to die because your
Not good.
face, that's your head.
Right.
So I'm like, damn. I'm thinking he about to die. So my man Lenny like, yo, come on, man. Everybody, come on, we out. Let's hurry up and go to the hospital. He at the hospital. And we all jumped in my car, coincidentally. We all jumped in my Benz. It was me, my man Lenny, my man Ali Vegas, and my man Dio. And another guy that was with Dio, I forgot his name. We all drove all the way to Queens from Manhattan, from the Hit Factory. Boom, we gets to the Jamaica Hospital. I walk in, we all walk in, and 50 Cent grandma and another lady that was his aunt, and it was another like younger girl with his aunt. I guess it was his aunt daughter or whatever. They all was standing right there. And they was the ones that, then the doctor came out and he was talking to the doctor. The doctor goes in the back again. And that's when they told us what happened. Like, 50, he gonna make it, but he got a fragment in his tongue. And the doctors is afraid of the fragment, his tongue swelling up to the point it can suffocate him. So they wanted to cut a hole in his throat, to give him a breathing tube. But they told his grandma one of the, possibilities, negative side effects of that was he might lose his voice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
His grandma told the doctors don't do it. So
Oh.
literally his grandmom is the thank for his whole career.
Oh, wow.
Because if he would have lost his voice, it would have never been a 50 Cent.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
whatever the case may be, they didn't cut the hole in his throat. And it was weird because when we all went back outside of the hospital, I never forget it was a real nice sunny day this day. Real nice outside. Hot outside, real nice. We all standing in front of the emergency room entrance, talking and stuff about the situation. And there was a dude sitting in the car right there with all his windows rolled down,
Okay.
directly dead smack in front of the emergency room entrance,
All right.
just listening to everything.
Really?
And me being from the streets, you got to know how to read energy more than you can't follow your eyes in the streets. You got to follow vibes in order to be, the key to survival is to be able to pick up certain vibes.
Okay.
Because a lot of sneaky people would be, they could be trying to, plot to do something to you. And your eyes and ears can hear them and see something, one thing, but the energy be different. That's how you know they plotting or whatever. So I know how to pick up on vibes. And the vibe with this dude sitting in the car was like a super duper red flag. And I'm like to them, I'm like, yo, you don't see this dude right here in the car listening to everything we saying?
Right.
And my man like kind of brushed it off like, who, him? Nah, man, he's just in the car chilling. Like, he ain't listening to us. Go out there, guys. Close the door. I'm almost done, okay? I love you. I'm almost done, baby. I love you, baby girl. Okay, guys, go out there, close the door. I'm almost done, okay, guys? I love you guys. Yeah, so whatever the case may be, they like brushed it off on some man. Nah, he ain't listening to you, listening to us. He a regular dude just sitting in the car, probably waiting for somebody. I'm like, nah, man, this dude is like literally like listening to everything we're saying. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But whatever the case, he had all four of his windows rolled down. So
Wow.
whatever the case may be, after that, I'm thinking I'm gonna talk to him again. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come back up here tomorrow and visit him. So the next day, I hit my man Lenny. I'm like, yo, let's go up there and see 50. And my man like, no, like he all right. like
Oh,
kind of just like basically brushed
brushed
it
it
off,
off.
told me no. So I'm like,
Weird.
damn, like that's weird. Nobody want to go up there and see him. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, he like, no, he about to get out. He cool. They don't want nobody up there but his family. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, I can respect that and understand that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna talk to him when he get out. You know, like this is 50, super persistent, always around,
Sure.
mashing his way on. I'm like, listen, I know he's coming back around when he get out in hell or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but I never talked to him ever again.
Wow.
So he like started popping in the music business.
Wow.
So then I would like see. Then the first time I seen him after that was like a week before Get Rich or Die Trying came out. Matter of fact, it was like 3, 4 weeks, and he was playing all of the songs. And for Chris Lighty, I was in Violator offices in Manhattan. Rest in peace, Chris Lighty, another
Sure.
legendary good dude.
Absolutely.
But we all in. I'm in Violator because my man Lil Troy was working there at the time with Chris Lighty.
Okay.
So I goes through there to see my man Lil Troy, Chris Lighty there, and 50 was there. So he see me in the hallway. He all the way in the office in the back. I gets off the elevator. He like, oh shit, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? We run up on each other, hug each other. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. We exchange two-way contact information. He like, yo, man, we gotta link up. Da, 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 I need beats. I'm like, hell yeah. So in my head, I'm like, all right, but I got his contact again. You know what I'm saying? Let me get with him. I'm hitting him on the two-way. He would never hit me back like that.
Oh,
So I'm like, damn, what's up with him? And every time I would like get in contact with him, if I would call up to the office or whatever, sometimes I would get him on the phone or not. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I just know I talked to him a couple times.
sure.
Like I seen him. I seen him in Philly one time. He was doing promo for his second album, The Massacre. This was like right around the time when all that game stuff was going on. When Game first left G Unit and he was dissing G Unit.
Right. Okay.
So I could tell it was bothering him because that's the first thing he would start talking about with me. After I hadn't seen him in a couple years, he like, yo, I'm gonna call you. What's your phone number? Because it was
Yeah.
all these fans outside of the radio station. So security kind of, like he had to get back in the van he was riding and leave. Then he called me right there.
Okay.
We on the phone for like 30 minutes, 20
Okay.
minutes. First thing he started talking about was game. Yeah, man, you hear about that game stuff? Da 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 da. Yeah, man. And I could tell it was like bothering him or whatever. But
Sure.
after that, I called this phone. I got him on the phone one time. After that, the phone number was changed.
Really?
You
Huh.
know what I'm saying? Like, and I never talked to him again. Like, then one day he was in Philly. This when the song I Get Money had just came out. Now, the promo he had for that song, he had fake $50 bills with his face on them
Right.
as promo tools to promote I Get Money when that song was on fire when it had came up. And I forgot what album that was, but that's the album he was promoting. Now I went to the radio station. I'm like, I hear him on the radio talking. He up there with Moni Love talking too. This at the time when she was on the radio in the morning. She a good friend of mine. So I'm like, damn, bet. He up there with Moni. Oh man, I know I'm gonna get in the station and link up with him. I wanted to link up with him. I drives all the way up there. By the time I get there, he was just leaving. So I see three vans in front of the radio station. They was just pulling off. I'm like, damn, there you go, right there. I was in the car with my peoples or whatever. I'm in the passenger side. So I'm like, yo, hurry up, catch up with them vans before they get away. That's them right there. So my man trying to, drive and catch up with them. It's three vans or whatever, like Jeeps, trucks or suburban type joints.
Okay.
They got tents on the windows. Like you can't even see inside. The tent is so dark. So I'm like, yo, he probably in the middle one. You know what I'm saying? Like the one in the front and the back is probably the security ones. He in the middle one. I'm like, yo, pull up on the middle one. Hurry up. So my man, we like chasing them like to the point it looked suspicious to them. They probably like, yo, who the hell was just trying to ride up on the side of us? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because mind you, remember, he got shot up in the car and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they kind of was, standoffish when we pulled on the side. The driver rolls the window down and he like, yo, what's up? So I'm like, yo, 50 in there? So he like, who you? I'm like, yo, it's Quran. Tell him it's Quran. And he like, ain't no 50 in here. And rolls the window up.
Wow.
I seen Tony Yayo in the front seat when all this was going on, right?
Yeah.
But I couldn't see who was in the back because the tents was so dark. But I can see the silhouette of somebody in the back, like, moving around. I seen somebody in the back, but I couldn't see the face or nothing. I just seen like a silhouette from the super dark tent. So they peels off, speeds off, sure. And all of a sudden, somebody throw all these fake $50 bills out the window. And then they pull off, skirt. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck was that about? Like, yo, this nigga tried to like play me. Like,
Yeah.
until this day, that's like the last anything I had to do with him as far as like,
Wow.
trying to talk to him. That was the last time like seen him. I didn't see him. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
That was the
absolutely.
last interaction I had with
Yeah.
him. Like after that, I never spoke to him again. And it was weird. I'm like, yo, what the fuck was that all about?
Wow.
Like, yo, like somebody like spreading a rumor on me or some shit, slandering me. It gotta be like,
Yeah.
'cause why did he do that? Like, we ain't never had no beef. Then I'm thinking like, well, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe he was in the front Jeep. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that was like the niggas with him trying to, be on some stupid, goofy shit or whatever. Maybe it wasn't him. Till
Right.
this day, I don't know though.
Wow. Crazy how that all turned out.
So,
Okay. So you
say
being
it
a,
again.
I'm just saying, crazy how that all turned out. Kind of an unsolved mystery how your relationship ended, I guess, or why you guys don't keep in contact.
Right. It's a mystery to me, man. Like it's mind boggling. I'm
Wow.
like, yo, somebody gotta be like lying on me or something because nothing ever happened with us.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard a bad thing said about the youngsters or yourself, anything from videos or your career wise too. It's really strange, but who knows? But anyway, so we're gonna
And I
go.
go through that. I went through similar situations with a couple people like that.
Okay.
Like not them like literally like physically doing nothing to me. It's like how that happened. Like them physically throwing money out the window. Like, but I went through like a couple other situations with people like fronting, and it blows my mind. Like, yo, what the fuck was that all about? Like,
Uh,
I know somebody going around hating on me, or was going around hating on me at the time when I had a lot of stuff popping. Somebody was going around hating on me,
okay.
slandering my name.
Wow. Stop hating on Quran, people. I, all right. So now you have a project coming out called Custramentals. Can you tell me about that?
Saw beats, instrumental beats. You know what I'm saying? Just the only person that did something similar to that was Dr. Dre when he released the Chronic 2001 album, all instrumental version. I don't know if you ever heard that version or knew about it or whatever.
Yeah.
He did it on vinyl.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was living up New York, and at the time, this is before the Kitty, computer sound kicked in with everybody making computerized sounding beats, people still was sampling. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like the core of hip hop was sampling beats. So I would go to certain stores every other day. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Every week buying new like old records, looking for hot samples and drums to sample all kinds of stuff. So I seen that album in a record store. Like, damn, they got a Chronic 2001, just all instrumental version of the album. Like,
Right.
it was crazy. Like, so that was like the only similar thing somebody did to what what this Q instrumental situation is. Like, it's gonna be all instrumentals.
Okay. When do you expect that to come out, and how can somebody purchase this?
I didn't get distribution yet.
Okay.
Like, I'm in the middle of, getting distribution right now for the situation. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna go about, the whole situation because we're in an era right now. Everything, see, the artist has direct contact with the consumer nowadays. There's no more middleman, so you don't even need a record label like that no more. The only thing you need a record label for is like more powerful distribution.
Okay.
But like on a regular basis, like you don't need a record company no more. And the people in the South been knew this. People in the South been getting money without record companies. Selling beats. I'm sorry, not selling beats. Selling CDs, albums directly themselves to consumers.
Right out of the phone.
They been doing this. Like I would say East Coast people was like bougie. You know what I'm saying? Like East Coast people is more like bougie type people. You know what I mean? Like the people in the South is I see why they call it the dirty South. Like they'll get down and dirty. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they got less pride, just overall. So
Gotcha.
that's why they're more independent down there because they got less pride to make things happen. To whereas though like people on the East Coast, they want a record company. They want to say they just signed for 5 million. They want to throw around the name for just sounding good purposes. Yeah, I just signed the Def Jam or I'm signed the Universal or what I mean, just more bougie. Like the dudes in the South, they not like that in the South. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I more so have that mentality.
Gotcha. Okay. So one other thing I wanted to get into, and I'll let you get on your way. So you used to mentor an artist named Jack Frost. I know your dad discovered him. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it seemed like you were producing, you were working with him for a while, and then all of a sudden, I never really heard about him. I just wonder if you could comment on that, or there's something I'm missing.
Yeah, well, the artist Jack Frost, after after the whole trackmaster situation came to an end, I wound up getting him signed to Sony, and I still till this day don't know what happened with him. Like he wound up just stopped rapping out of nowhere.
Okay.
But before that, he just stopped answering my phone calls for like a month, 2, 3 months. I couldn't even get him on the phone. Like I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on? Like he literally was ducking me. Like I got a record. I had made like the whole time he was. See, Sony is a huge company, huge. They got a huge roster of all kinds of mega superstars. So when you're a new artist on Sony, you gotta like work extra hard to even be recognized by them in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They got a ton of new artists that's just signed on the shelf that they don't even care about. You know what I mean? So The whole thing in the Sony building as a new artist was we gotta make a hit record. The record gotta be on fire, and then we get them to pick up the ball in the whole situation. So that's where I was at with that whole situation. I was putting out songs, you know what I'm saying? Put out a mixtape hosted by K Slay. Big shout out to DJ K Slay, another good legendary dude, man. Looked out for me and hosted that mixtape for
Okay.
free, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I had did a song called Can I Get Your Number? That was a major mega hit. I gives it the Cosmic Kev, the number one DJ in Philadelphia on Philly radio, everything. You know what I'm saying? Power 99, the number one radio station in the whole city. This dude started blasting the song off crazy. He like, yup, because the whole time I'm giving him songs, and he telling me, yeah, this joint hot, but this ain't the one. Like, this ain't the one. I gives him that song. He like, yo, this is the one. He goes in on it, blasting it off crazy, playing it crazy. He calls me out of nowhere a couple days later, like, yo, you ain't gonna believe this. I'm like, what? He like, don't you know Sony just sent me a cease and desist and told me I can't play the Jack Frost song, Can I Get Your Number ever again?
What?
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Come to find out, Jack Frost went to Sony and told them to stop, to tell Sony to tell Kev to stop playing the song because he was mad he didn't take the song to Cosmic Kev first. Just goofy stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's like he more so wanted to be the CEO opposed to the artist.
Oh my goodness.
Like he didn't know how to stay in his place as an artist. And I don't want to sound like somebody that, trying to, sound like I had more power than him or whatever. But the situation was what it was. Like, he was the artist. He should have worried about being an artist, the best artist he could possibly be, making the best records he could possibly make. And then when the situation blows or takes off, then he can focus on the next level, which was, him being a CEO of his own company and handling that side of the business. But he wanted to do everything. Like he was like a control freak.
Oh
You know what
wow.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he wanted to have control over everything. So whatever the case may be, Cosmic Kev got mad that he did that. So Kev stopped playing all his songs, stopped answering all his phone calls, and he even stopped answering my phone calls. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Wow.
that's when Jack Frost calls me up talking about he quit rapping after that. And I'm like, why? And he like, because I want to focus on my religion and get closer to God. Now, I can't get mad at that.
Right.
I can't, like, what can I say about somebody trying to do the right thing and something like
Of
that?
course. Sure. Sure.
So I was like stuck. I'm like, damn,
Hmm.
it's nothing I could really do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Crazy.
And that's when he just totally just X the whole situation out. Like, the whole situation was over after that. Yeah, like on top of all of that, he just quit rapping for religious purposes. So then after that, like, he don't even speak to me till this day. I don't know why. All the stuff I did for him. If somebody did all of that for me, I would forever have a certain amount of love for them. Forever.
Yeah.
Unless like something serious happened between us, nothing serious happened. Nothing even happened. Like
Yeah.
we might have had a couple verbal arguments or whatever, but that happens in families all the time. It's
Absolutely.
like that's no reason to like never even speak to somebody ever again if you see them. Like it's like I don't know what the hell is like somebody been going around slandering. He had to like it's like
Wow.
everybody doesn't deal with me. Nobody even wants to speak to me. It blows my mind, man.
Would you almost say you're blackballed for some reason? Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense, but the thing that's the crazy part is, see, whenever somebody is blackballed, it always starts internally first because the only person that can feel like deep envy and jealousy and hate towards you is someone who knows you.
Hmm.
So it's always internal first. So it had to start within my family because I never had a big circle of outsiders that I hung with. Everybody I ever dealt with was family. I never was the type that had 50 million friends and an entourage that rolls with me and a big crew. Even
Right.
my even my little label situation, I never even had more than one artist at a
Right.
time. Like I just had that one artist. So whoever started the hate had to been internal within my family.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And then it spilled over into the industry because whoever it was has industry connects.
Right.
So they must have started going to other people in the industry, spreading whatever slander it is they've been spreading, and it spilled over into the industry.
That's crazy how that is.
So,
Not that I'm comparing myself and you, but I remember when I used to be a mobile DJ, the gentleman that gave me my first job, we weren't exactly on great terms, but still, he was the first person that actually hired me and actually believed in me. So I still always respected him for that. I never would, necessarily slander his name, or no matter what we disagreed on, I still gave him that props in the back of my head or with friends or family members. So it's kind of confusing.
right, man, that's how it's supposed to be. Like, that's how a good person thinks. You know what I'm saying? You got certain people, man, they got a disease of the heart. Like, it's a sickness, literally. Like, everything in life is in levels.
Hmm.
And the level of hate and envy that someone has towards me has to be extreme to the point it's like a disease of the heart, a sickness,
Wow.
because they literally stopped me from being able to feed only myself but my family, man. That's like a deep hate someone must have for another individual for them to do something like that, man. Like that's like crazy, man. Like,
Wow.
and I know who it is. I know it's someone. All the fingers point in one direction. Wherever you smell smoke, there's a fire. You know what I'm saying? So I know who it is, like in my mind, but I would be just as rotten and foul as that individual if I went out and did the same thing to them that they did to me.
Gotcha.
So
So you kind of think it's an inside job. You don't have to mention names, family member or somebody you're somewhat close to that may be slandering your name.
yeah, see, it's like this, man. Blackballing goes like this. It's like a Lego effect. You know how Legos, you got them all lined up, standing up or whatever, and you
Yep.
hit the one, and it hits the second one, third, fourth, so eventually they're all down. That's how blackballing goes. It's a Lego effect. So I know the individual that was the first Lego. You know
Oh
what I'm
my.
saying? And then when people see this is another way how people are, man. Say if your immediate circle, you might have four good friends of yours that's your immediate circle. But say if they're really not your friends, you're their friend, but they're deep down inside not your friend, and they go around slandering you. When an outsider is the same way they are, when they see that your immediate circle doesn't like you and hate you, that gives them the green light to do it even worse or more to you.
Wow.
Because they got backup now. It's like, yeah, I ain't the only one saying it. Such and such and them is saying it too. So
Gotcha.
someone started the Lego effect. I know who it was. Like, it's crazy, man.
Wow. So let's somehow we need to get rid of these Legos that are affecting you feeding your family, like you were saying. So once we eliminate that, are you still taking work if somebody's looking for a producer? And how would they reach out to you?
All right, this is my mentality where I'm at right now in my life, the space I'm in right now. I don't want to do production for artists no more.
Okay.
Like I look at that as a phase like college. Like I look at the whole rapping phase, the youngsters, me as an artist, that was like school, all the
Okay.
way up to high school. Then the production thing with trackmasters and all the other beats I did, that was college. Now I want to do music for movies. I want to score movies. I want to score commercials. I want to score, you know, stuff like that, man. I want to do music for movies, music for commercials. I want to movies for television shows. I want to do that type of music now
Okay.
because when you do an artist music, the music will only sell 6 months to a year tops at maximum at its peak. Then the album is played out. And that's if it's a excellent album. If it's a regular album that comes out, the the peak of the album will only sell like the first 2, 3 months. The
Right.
peak. But when
Gotcha.
you're doing music for movies, that music, you're gonna get a nice check off of that for the next 20 years.
Royalties.
Minimum.
So you start getting,
Minimum.
yeah, you start getting involved in music. Your music gets involved in movies and TV. It'll be interesting to see how these people that may have blackballed you start coming back into your life.
Right. And another thing too that's good, it's a whole new generation of people in the music industry now.
Hmm.
That was all 20 years ago. All of those people from that phase are gone. Either they're gone and washed up now, or whatever reason they're gone, not doing anything no more, or they're big time in the industry. So whereas though they moved up and they're probably whatever vice presidents or whatever company and that's a small percentage,
Right.
a very small percentage. It's a whole new generation of people in the industry now. All these little kids, Roddy Rich, Young Thug, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on, man. Like all these little kid rappers and Megan Thee Stallions, Cardi B's, like it's a whole new generation. Their managers and the little people they're signed to. It's all a whole new generation of people that don't even know who Quran Goodman is. You know what I'm saying?
It's a shame.
Like they're all in their 20s.
All right. So let's say I'm 20 years old. I can sing, I can rap, I can write. I know exactly who the youngsters are. I know who Quran is. I know you've moved on from high school and college. I want to feature you on one of my songs. You're going to say no, or would you do it to help them out?
Nah, I'ma definitely do it.
Okay.
I'ma definitely do it because I look at the music industry like this. I just look at life like this in general. God opens doors for you. Us as human beings, we live in a three-dimensional physical duality world. The only way we're going to receive that blessing from the door that God has opened for us is us physically getting up off our butts and moving. You know what I'm saying? So you never know how something is going to turn out. I could do a verse for whoever, some no-name person from the internet that wants me to do a verse. That song can blow up and wind up selling millions of records, and that artist can wind up becoming a superstar just from that. Like life is funny, man. Like you never know where certain situations will lead to.
That's for
So
sure.
I take all opportunities in with consideration, unless
Gotcha.
it's like something that's like a super bad look.
Right.
That's different, but you never know where a situation is going to lead to.
Okay. So I say this knowing your favorite rapper of all time is Jay Z. So let's take Jay Z out of the picture. You know what? Let's take Jay Z, Pac out of the picture, and Biggie. Who would be your dream collab? Whether it be a rap song together, or you're producing for them? Past or present, we take out Jay-Z, Biggie, and Pac. Who would you choose as your dream collaboration?
Oh man. Right now, I would say Dr. Dre.
Excellent.
Like
Good
it's
choice.
funny. Like I'm not even a real big fan of no one in the industry
Hmm.
right now. Like I don't even the music nowadays. I don't like it. Like because I come from an era of vibes of feeling the music. The only way you can feel the only way you can feel music like in your soul, like feel it, is if it's manually composed. Meaning, all the beats nowadays are digital. They're
Right.
quantized in computers in 16 or 32. It's all quantized digital rhythms. So it's a computer error. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like everybody's like baby robots, literally. Like they don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But the era I come from, you don't quantize the music. It's a live feel. You know what I'm saying? You play the drums live. All those songs back in the 60s, 70s, even early 80s and mid 80s and the 50s, all of the music wasn't quantized. Those were bands playing live.
Right.
That's why you felt the music more because it was live. You know what I'm saying? It was a human rhythm.
Gotcha.
So I don't feel none of this music nowadays. Like I don't even really like listen to these guys. Like
Right.
the only one I really, really respect is Lil Wayne. Like he
Okay.
started this whole era. He started it. Like everybody with tattoos on their faces,
Hmm.
or a million tattoos, or everybody with long dreads, or everybody wearing the tight clothes, looking like punk rockers. He started all of that. Everybody freestyling in the mic booth without like writing lyrics down, like
Gotcha.
just getting in the mic booth and freestyling. He started it. People using auto tune while they freestyle and rapping in rhythm and
Right.
harmony. He started all of that. Like this whole entire industry is baby Little Wayne's. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Literally, like he started it.
Awesome.
So that's the only person I like really, really respect right now.
I hear you. Awesome, Kron. Well, we're about to get going here. So don't forget to check out Cue Ball TV. We got Q instrumentals. The wheels are in motion. We don't have an exact release date. Anything else you want to promote? Anything else you want to bring up?
Cue Ball TV. Go to my channel on YouTube, type in Quran Goodman, subscribe. Cue Ball TV. I'm building it up from the ground up. I got some content on there right now that you'll love, but I'm taking it to a whole nother level.
You definitely have
Building it up.
some interesting views and some shocking information you bring up. Definitely, definitely very intriguing to watch. So,
Check it out, man. And I appreciate you interviewing me, man.
no
Big
problem.
shout out to you, man.
Thanks a lot, Q. I appreciate your time. Thanks again.